Hello guys, you're all welcome to the pre-colonial administrative system of the Hausa Fulani race in Nigeria down here in Africa. How have we been? This week we'll be taking a look at what had really gone wrong during the pre-colonial administrative system of the Hausa Fulani, because they are also very crucial to our own development as humans. Let me start by telling us this. We all know that there are different types of slave trade, such as the transatlantic slave trade, the trans-Saharan slave trade, and a few others to mention. However, there is no way in which we can be able to really talk about the pre-colonial administrative system of the Hausa without drawing lessons from what had really happened, what really happened during the trans-Saharan slave trade. What's the meaning of trans-Saharan slave trade? This is a kind of slave trade that was conducted across the Sahara Desert between the Arab world, that is the North Africa and the Persian Gulf, alongside with our counterparts, that is sub-Saharan countries. Basically, gold and salt were the major commodities that were exchanged during this era. But it wasn't as if other commodities such as leather, ivories were in exchange. But these two were very, very paramount to the success of this era, that is the slave trade era. Having said this, we can as well even say eventually that most African nations were known to blessed with a lot of salt, and while our counterpart, that is our neighbor in the west, they're known to be endowed with gold. So it's just like we're trying to take a look at the trade by barter era that had happened in Nigeria in time past. Moving on from there, we can also say that as gold and salt is to the trans-Saharan slave trade, so is sugarcane and spices is to the transatlantic slave trade. This is back in 1380. The trans-Saharan eastern route would eventually lead to the development of a great empire called the kanem-bornuempire, that comprises of countries such as Niger, Congo, we have Sudan, Cameroon, and the likes. But unarguably, the fall of this kingdom would usher in what we know as today as the pre-colonial administrative system of the Hausa Fulani. But before I proceed, why can't we just take a brief look into the Hausa race? The Hausa race, there is no doubt about that they happen to be the largest ethnic group in Africa, whereby they are also very skilled in crafts, trades, farming, and so on and so forth. So these race happens to be a very, very should I say a rich culture in terms of they are experiencing everything and even natural resources that they've got there. But history has made us to understand that there are two major causes that later led to the sudden inevitable war, that is the Holy War, also known as Jihad War, that happened in the northern parts of Nigeria, that is the northern states, that started from Sokoto. Upon arrival, late Usman Danfodio and his other Fulanis, that is his family, his friends, foes, everyone like that, when they got to Sokoto, number one, religion. The way they met the Hausa pagans, the way they were practicing Islam, they weren't comfortable with that. So they said, they deemed it that okay, there is no way this kind of war is crucial or will be crucial. So why can't we just wipe this thing the existing culture that we've made in terms of religion? We should all know that late Usman Danfodio and the Fulanis, they had already been, in terms of exposure, they got it. Because taking a look at where they are coming from, that is the Sahel region, they have been exposed to the Arabian world in terms of religion. So they are very, very vast in terms of how Islam is being practiced. And number two, another major causes that led to this usurp was the issue of political gains. This is also this could be seen as late Usman Dan Fodio's, according to me, to his own ulterior motive, because Sokoto then, and even most of the northern states during this era, in terms of their economic, their GDP growth, oh God, it is very, very rich, like it is huge. So this became an irresistible point to draw idea from, to draw inspiration from. So these two would later combine, that is the religion and the whole issue of political gains. Before we proceed, similarly, I believe, to me, forced conversion and political gains, as we have seen in Sokoto, would be later be what would lead to what happened during medieval Europe, when the Spanish government and the Portuguese government, when they later went on, shall I say, on a break, on an extinction. These two were I would say, according to me, like would later be what made Spain, the Spain government and the Portuguese government, to still remain at the point where they are today. There's no doubt about that. Because for instance, when the Spanish government, when they got to Aztec kingdom in Mexico, then the way they presented Christianity to these people was born out of their own will, that is compulsion. So what would you call something like that? Eventually, it's just like a house that was built through propaganda would surely fall by propaganda. But that is not the case. Usman Dan Fodio, between 1804 and 1810, he succeeded, like, by hijacking the existing power, the political administrative structure that he met, and they all started a new era, which was known as a centralized form of system. What's the meaning of centralized form of system? This is whereby it could also be known as a feudalism system that was practiced during the Roman Empire then, that is the Middle Ages, whereby it is only, and there is a huge gap between the suzerain and our vassals, whereby it is only someone from the top that can actually, like, okay, give a final verdict, irrespective of maybe his idea is good, his motive is good. So Usman Dan Fodio and the Fulanis successfully established and introduced a centralized form of system. But as time went on, Usman Dan Fodio later would summon his son and his brother that, see guys, since we've been able to conquer this place, please, I want a long-term plan. That would even, a form of government that would even last myself and generations to come. So they said, okay, the 14 states that we met, okay, why can't we just, like, okay, divide it into two? So they divided it into two, the Eastern Caliphate and the Western Caliphate. The Eastern Caliphate was headed by Usman Dan Fodio's son, that comprises of states such as Gombe, Kano, former Zazao, that is the new Zaria today, and other states. And they also have Sokoto as a headquarter, while the Western Caliphate comprises of states such as we have Ilorin, Angungu, we have Gwandu as a capital, and the likes like that. But as time went on, after establishing all these states, after dividing this region, they conceived that it will not be okay, because though I want a centralized form of government, I still wouldn't want the people, the citizens, to see it as if it's another slave trade era, since we are all Muslims. So no, we shouldn't do that. So they have to like, okay, pick, select from the citizens a position today known as emirs. So these emirs were the ones that were spearheading all these northern, the just divided northern states. So the emirs. But the thing is, Usman Dan Fodio, and either alongside with his son or even his brother, can actually like, okay, remove any emir, in as much that, okay, they notice that maybe such emir is planning to like, okay, cause disruption in the empire. But they still gave all these emirs the benefits of doubt, that is like a free ground to operate, whereby the emirs, they can as well go ahead and choose their own cabinet members. Just like we can also say that during like the Igbo's culture now, the Council of Elders, we have positions such as Galadima, we have such as Waziri, and the likes. That is that about that. Lastly, the in today's form of judicial system, what the Hausa people have been practicing then was known as a Sharia court and its laws, whereby criminal cases could be tried, such as, you know, maybe murder, maybe stealing, maybe robbery, maybe even like kidnapping and the likes. But we should never forget as well that aside from these Sharia courts, the emir as well has the authority to like, okay, really establish a court whereby criminal cases as well will be tried. Fine. Lastly, guys, we have just come to the end of what had really happened during the pre-colonial administrative system of the Hausa. The thing is, I'm looking forward to your contributions. Please, a tree cannot make a forest. We are all in this together. Remember, it is called an open source. And without history, there can never be a future. I love you.